Language is a window onto human history and prehistory, and by using historical linguistics, we can explore the human past beyond the time depth of written records and oral histories. By looking at the way languages are today, historical linguists can learn things about languages in the past and the culture of the people who spoke them. The settlement of the Pacific Islands is one of the most ambitious pre-modern migrations in human history. These settlers were speakers of languages of the Oceanic branch of the Austronesian language family. Their journey into and across the Pacific began off the island of New Guinea some 3,300 years ago. They had a great degree of seafaring skills and knowledge. In some areas, they crossed significant bodies of water, navigating to islands that were too far away to see. What did they use to make their sea voyages? What were their boats like? How did they navigate? We can't learn much about their seafaring tradition from the archaeological record because wooden boats don't last very long in a tropical climate. Their boats aren't around after more than 3,000 years, but a form of their language still exists in languages spoken today, like Hawaiian, Fijian, and Maori. All these languages go back to a common ancestor. Linguists call it Proto-Oceanic. It wasn't written down, there's no documentation for it, but we can reconstruct parts of this ancient language by looking at the vocabulary of the Oceanic languages that are spoken today. Let's take a look at some words in these languages. Modern Oceanic languages have a word for a kind of outrigger canoe. It's carved from a single tree trunk and built up with additional planks with outrigger floats for stability that were attached in particular ways to the canoe itself. The name for this kind of boat is slightly different in the various Oceanic languages today. In Tongan, it's vaka. In Samoan, it's va'a. In Hawaiian, it's wa'a. By looking at many words for this kind of boat in modern languages, we can reconstruct what the word was likely to be in Proto-Oceanic more than 3,000 years ago, waga. That little asterisk means that the word has been reconstructed. The words in these languages all resemble each other, and more importantly, when a word in one language uses a different sound, it doesn't just do it in that one word. That difference shows up in multiple words across the languages. There are lots of examples of these differences, but let's just focus on one. When there's a k in Tongan, we see a glottal stop in Samoan. This difference comes up in the name of the boat, but it also comes up when we look at the names of its parts. This outrigger boom shows up in Tongan as kiato and in Samoan as iato. We can use these modern words to reconstruct what the names would have been in Proto-Oceanic thousands of years ago, and by reconstructing these ancient words, we can piece together details of the kind of boats they had, right down to the names of their parts. But it's not just boat words. We can also reconstruct the names for some of the star groups and star paths that these ancient seafarers used to set their course across the ocean, including the Pleiades and the Milky Way. Many Oceanic languages spoken today have similar names for these constellations, and more importantly, where the names are different, they're different in regular, systematic ways like we would expect if they had diverged gradually over thousands of years from one parent language. This is evidence that those people from long ago knew about and used these constellations in their voyages. So, historical linguistics helps us to find out details of ancient words, language, and culture that would otherwise be lost to history.